right, hello and welcome to another episode of Live Recon. My name is Ben. Most of you guys know me as NahamSec Online. I'm going to be joining here. I'm going to be bringing on two other people here. My co-host Jason Haddix. Let's bring him on.
Hey, everybody.
We also have another amazing guest. I think most of you have seen me bully Yassine for a very long time on Twitter. I feel bad, so I messaged like, "Hey man, sorry for bullying you a while ago. Do you want to come on this show and we can talk about it a little bit?" And he has been open to this discussion. We're going to settle it once and for all and talk about this. But before we jump into it, my co-host here, my handsome co-host here on this side, he is going to be keynoting a conference that's coming up. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your talk?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be at the very prestigious, illustrious, amazing NahamCon. There are very few cons, like other than DEF CON, that I get super hyped up about, especially if they're virtual, right? Like the content has to be stellar. And when you sent me last week the list in private of the topics, I'm going to be glued to the screen for the duration of the con. I'm so hyped about everything. So I'm going to be the first talk, I guess the keynote. For years I've done the bug hunters methodology, which is a recon talk, right? And it's like my assessment of recon tools, my tips and tricks, basically adding it to a routine that I use for recon. And I often would get asked, like, well, what do you do once you get on a site? Like, what is a Jay Haddix methodology once he gets on a site and he chooses a target? So that's one that I was building, but then COVID just blasted me and my family in the face. I didn't get a chance to do it. And so 2 years have gone by. I've built this presentation. And to be honest, I'm kind of nervous about it. It seems pretty basic to me, but people keep on asking me for it. So I'm going to go through my tips and tricks, everything that I do. It's called the Bug Hunters Methodology Application Analysis. And I'm going to go through how I profile a website, where I look for things, and it's going to go through all of that. So I'm really hyped about it. So.
And the reason why this talk is so special to me is my first time speaking on a real conference stage was the 4 minutes of fame that I got on your first version of the Bug Hunters methodology at DEF CON.
Yeah, dude, I remember.
So every time this conference happens, I ask Jason, like, "Hey, do you want to come back and do this talk?"
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why it's such a big deal for me to have you as a keynote speaker, especially that talk that kind of set me off as a public speaker too, and gave me the stage to go and talk in front of hundreds of people that came to see you. And I was like, "Surprise, guys!"
I'm there too. Well, I mean, they knew you were coming, I think, but yeah, I mean, that was so fun. And DEF CON is always a really special place to speak, right? Like it means a lot to a lot of hackers, right? Because that community is special. So I'm super happy to come on and do the keynote. Keynoting is a big honor, right? You're the first talk, you kind of kick things off, and then Stoke's going to be there too, emceeing, right? He's going to be in between, and you're going to be on there. So really, it's a con by friends, so it's great.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. If you want to be there, April 30th, I put that down earlier. I'll put it one more time. Jason's going to do his talk. He'll be going up first. If you did participate in that, I did a little like puzzle thing around who do you think is going to be the speaker for the keynote. And I think like 160 people replied saying Jason Haddix. And I messaged you the night before. I was like, "Hey, I apologize about the notifications in advance."
Yeah, it was crazy. It was great.
I think Yassine's camera is having a little bit of issues. I'm going to give him some time to fix it really quick, and then we'll bring him on. But yes, you're also right now on Twitter. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sorry, it's a little too late. This is why you should come to the live stream. But on Twitter right now, I'm going to put everyone's Twitter here too. You should go follow Yassine, Jason, Stoke, and myself. Everyone's Twitter right there. Yep, there we go. Everyone's in there. Yep. I'm doing a giveaway for 1 year. And I think it's 6 months, I promise, to Pentester Lab. They've been, amazing to work with. Luis has been awesome to work with. He's one of the sponsors for NahamCon, so we're going to use some of this stuff to give him away.
Yep.
Yassine, is your camera working? Not yet. We'll give him a little bit of time. All right. What else? NahamCon's coming up. Next week's guest, I think Jason's going to be off next week. Stoke's going to be joining me for another episode. I will announce the guest for that next week. And then I think it's about time to also announce the speakers for NahamCon at some point next week.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Let me ask you a question, Ben, while we're giving our guests some time to figure out the camera. What are your kind of tentative plans for Hacker Summer Camp? What are you doing this year?
I don't know yet. I haven't had a chance to sit down and do like a proper research to present.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of the talks that I've been doing are just recycling things that I've done. There's some new stuff that I've worked on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be there. Last year I did a video. I haven't released it yet. I think I'm gonna release that this coming week. I want to go back and do more videos. I want to make more content. I think with the pandemic being a little bit more laxed, there's gonna be more opportunities to do stuff. Versus last year was really bad, dude. It was like really scary to go out there because it was like the peak of the new.
You hosted the Red Team Village last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna be involved in organizing Red Team Village again this year. I've been working with some of the organizers. I'm hoping to be there this year. DEF CON, you going to DEF CON this year?
Oh yeah, I'm going.
Oh, cool.
I'm going from the Sunday before to the Monday after.
Yep. We're gonna be the warriors that go for the 8 days.
The warriors that go for like the 10 days. Yeah. So I'll take a black hat training usually this year.
Nice,
I'm gonna do a black hat training, and then I'll hang around for the middle of the week, which is usually like B-sides and black hat, and then I'll go to DEF CON. So.
Ooh, I forgot about B-sides. Yeah, that might be one that I may have to go. I've never been to B-sides as a hacker. I've only been at a booth for B-sides.
like doing booth duty, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I think Yassine, let's see if we can get him on here really quick. Let me remove this. All right, Yassine, you ready?
Yep.
How you doing, my friend?
There we go.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, man.
Good. Good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for joining us. We can talk about some of our good times in a bit. But before we jump in, Jason has this thing where he comes out with icebreakers.
Yeah.
So he has a few for you. I'll let him kick it off.
Yeah. So Yassine, I try to do a little bit of research around like kind of our guests that come on, right? And just to make them feel comfortable, and like before we jump into all the hacking stuff. And so when I was looking through your Twitter and like kind of like your LinkedIn and stuff like that, just OSINTing the hell out of you, right? I saw that like you're actually quite the world traveler, right? You've been a lot of places throughout, your career so far. And I have some questions kind of around that. And so first, like, what is your favorite place that you've traveled so far? Like just from an enjoyment point of view.
I think it would definitely, generally speaking, it would be Southeast Asia. So I love Indonesia. I love Indonesia a lot. I've had a good time there, especially when I go back to Bali. Just like an amazing place, an island life, and there's a huge expat community. So it was great. So definitely Indonesia. Yeah.
It's just like the relaxing vibes and the people and everything, community culture.
Exactly. It's just very chill, and like people are so amazing and very friendly.
Yeah.
And it's not expensive at all, and like that, everything is reasonable, and you got a huge expat community if you want to interact with people and get out and do stuff. Yeah.
Did you consider yourself as a nomad for a while? Because I think you did the nomad thing for a while, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's been like for over 4 years. I've been digital nomading, so it's just been traveling almost full time and working at the same time.
That's crazy.
Living life.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's been great actually. Yeah, but with the COVID, it was a bit hard to keep up, but I'm still doing it.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah, but I just like switched to kind of a slow nomading, like taking it easy. Even if I travel somewhere, I would just stay there for a while instead of like jumping from one place to another.
Nice, and I bet a good opportunity to meet some other hackers worldwide too, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I had the chance to meet so many hackers and hack with them in different places. Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Very cool. So I saw you take some really nice shots actually with your camera setup. So you're kind of like a photographer as well. What's been your favorite place to like shoot?
I think it would probably be the United States, man.
Really?
I've done a road trip in California from San Francisco to Las Vegas.
Nice.
The landscapes are just crazy. Like you can take the coastal road, beautiful landscapes, and if you take the other road as well, when you go to Yosemite and all those parks, it's just beautiful, man. So it's definitely gonna be the United States. Yeah.
Nice.
Is landscape the thing you like enjoy the most to shoot?
Mostly nature. Mostly
Yeah,
nature. I also do a lot of hiking. I love to take pictures of mountains as well.
Yep. Yeah, I saw a couple of your shots that were gorgeous of mountain ranges. It's just absolutely great. Yeah, absolutely.
It's unfortunate. I have so many good ones on my Instagram, but I just disabled it for the past month.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you disappeared. I used to one of the easiest way to keep up with you, keep in touch with you, was because of the stuff you posted. That I found very relatable, and I haven't seen you on there in a long time.
Yeah. I've disabled it. Just wanted to take a break from Instagram on all the social media. I've just been on a detox period, kind of.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's good for you, man. I think we'll talk about some of this mental health stuff in just a bit.
Yep. All right, my last one is that I think I saw some of your videos where you saw dual core at Chaos Conference, and like you've really been to a ton of cons all over the world, including you were at Seasides when I was there as well, in India. And so what's been your favorite hacker con, like your hacker or InfoSec con?
Oh, definitely. I think it would definitely be DIFCON for sure. It's like it's a huge conference. It's an annual summer camp where you meet all the hackers. They all come from different places in the world. So I would be DIFCON for sure.
It'd be definitely.
And I hope to be there this year. I'm not entirely sure, but I really want to be there.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out like to get the hacker mansion together again. Like I did it years ago, and just have like a big Airbnb that we all rent out, and people can just drop in with would grab a bed for a couple days and then do whatever they want and leave, and like we'll do our own presentations or something like at the house, have good food, like trying to put that together, see if we can do that. So
that would be perfect. I've actually had this idea for quite a while. I've always wanted to just like rent a place, like a huge mansion kind of, and just and invite a few hackers. It would be like 10 hackers.
Yep.
And then just like chill together and hack together and collaborate and do some small talks and everything. So I had this idea. That would be sick if you do it, actually.
Yeah. I'll try to put it together and then see if I can. I just shoot out like some of the people who are on the show, and like like I would love to like just have a mansion, have you and Ben like just drop by and like chill, and then like we could have like try to get like Naffy there, like somebody like I actually find the most value out of kind of what they call hallway con at those conferences, right? Where I just talk to people, right? I'm not even really hacking with them. I'm just talking with them about their mindset and how they do what they do, and them as people. And like, that's actually where I get a lot of the value out and going to the cons and stuff like that. So,
I think it would be cool to do, sorry to jump in. It would be cool to also just have like times when we hack and just times when we just sit down and hang out, no computer. It's just, I feel like a lot of us just focus so much about like the hacking parts of things that we forget we also have other things that we do.
Yeah, we're all people.
Cool. So we did a semi-unofficial intro to who you are, but give us an official like Twitter bio / like Wikipedia page of who you are, what do you do, what's your background like, and how long have you been doing it?
Okay, so you guys know my name is Yassine, 27 years old, born and raised in Morocco. I'm based in France. Currently, I'm self-employed. I work as a security consultant. I work with different clients doing penetration testing, security assessments, code review and stuff. But I've been doing a lot of bug bounties as well, almost full-time. I've been doing it for over 8 years right now, since 2014. So I've been mostly active on HackerOne. I'm ranking amongst the HackerOne top 20 and on all-time leaderboard. I mean, as opposed to some people here. So I still maintain my ranking, actually. So I've worked with HackerOne as a security analyst. So I've done like 2 years of triage with HackerOne. It was from 2017 until 2019, actually.
Nice. We'll talk about the ranking in a bit. Unless you want me to just start firing off, because I have stuff really I would like to show.
No, let's do the intro stuff first, and then we'll get into the feud stuff in a little bit.
I mean, you should talk about the HackerOne thing. I think that's also what made us become better friends. Is just not only we were hacking going back and forth. There was a time where you came to San Francisco for a HackerOne thing, and we got to actually get in person and talk a lot of smack in person. That made it a lot more fun.
Yeah, exactly. It was the all hands meeting, if I remember.
Oh.
So you guys work together at the same time, right? Like at HackerOne? Yeah.
Different
Okay.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, different teams, but
Okay.
I have to look for that photo. I have a photo of us doing a boy band thing like this. All hands.
Did you guys
That is
ever
one
do
of-
any of the live events together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, except from Triage, we in 2016, the second live hacking events in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I think you were there as well, probably as a hacker, if I remember.
Nice.
This is the picture of our boy band that we came up with. I couldn't find it quick enough, but this is the photo for it.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Patrick is there.
Oh, Patrick's there too.
Yeah,
Nice.
there's a few people in this photo.
Nice.
It's my favorite picture, man.
Very
like
good.
great souvenirs.
Very good.
Wow.
I have a similar one from the bug crowd triage team in Vegas when Dropbox put on that big party in 2016, and it's like me and Patrick and Spend and all those guys. Yeah, it's like good old times, man. So Yassine, one of the common questions we have is like, how did you get into hacking? Like, what is your origin story if you were like a comic book character, you know?
Okay, so for me, I started hacking like at a young age, probably 15, 16 years old. The way I got into it was actually through two of my cousins. They started hacking before me, so they introduced me into it. They showed me a few tricks, and I found that very fascinating. And since then, I just got hooked. So I started learning on my own. I started like Googling stuff, and just back then it was like learning from forums, the bulletin forums, just like so many resources. So that's how I got into it, just like through my cousins. And I started like finding some really terrible bugs. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but one of the bugs that I started looking for was like when you have a /admin.mdb, something like that.
Oh yeah.
So it basically, so you download like a Microsoft database file where you can find the credentials in plain text, not encrypted at all. So it's just like I would be like dorking the whole day, just like Google dorking, looking for those websites to hack them. So yeah, that's how I got into it. Then I started doing what you would call irresponsible disclosure, as opposed to responsible disclosure. It's like finding security bugs in softwares and web applications, and instead of like notifying the vendor, you would actually post it to Mailworm, if you remember.
Mailworm. Yeah, I remember
Mailworm, dude.
Yeah, you post it to Mailworm under your name. It's just like so much fame and clout back then when you have those exploits under your So I've been doing that irresponsible disclosure. I thought it was the way to go, but it definitely not.
Yeah.
Then I think it was in 2014 that I read an article about HackerOne. I was just like browsing security articles. I found this article about HackerOne talking about this company where you can actually hack legally, like hack companies legally and get paid for it. So back then I was preparing for some university exams, and when I went straight and signed up for HackerOne. And when I would need a break from exams, I would just go and start looking for vulnerabilities. Back then it was only Yahoo and a bunch of open source projects. So I was not very familiar with code reviews. So my only focus back then was Yahoo. It was 2014. And then I found my first vulnerability on Yahoo. I submitted it with a broken English. And a few months later, I got paid for it. And that was my first bounty. And I spent the next summer basically just hacking the whole summer. Yeah.
Must have felt good that first bounty, huh?
It was amazing, man. I did not. It felt really great. I was like, "Holy shit, I can make money hacking now."
You know what kind of bug that was? You know what kind of bug? And like you don't have to share exactly amount, but do you know what it was? And like, what was your first bounty? Do you remember it?
Yeah. It was a shitty bug to be honest. So basically, Yahoo, they had a pool where you can like upvote and downvote stuff.
Wait. If it's not fully disclosed, don't disclose the bug. Just tell us like criticality level and the bounty amount, so we don't get in trouble.
Oh, okay. So basically, it was like a bug that would allow you to reset the pool.
Oh, okay.
Reset the pool, and the bounty amount was like $420.
Wow, okay, that's not bad for a first bounty.
Exactly. So I was like really hooked afterwards.
Sorry, the old hacker one, like, you know, angel on my shoulders, like, don't let him disclose the bug.
I don't think they would mind. I think back then
You
Yahoo
just
was
gotta make sure, you know.
it's a deprecated. They fixed it by just removing the entire functionality.
Oh, okay. That's a good fix. That's a really good fix.
Those are always the funny ones, right? When you submit a bug and then they're like, we fixed it and the site's no longer online. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you fixed it. Yeah.
We fixed it by removing the whole thing from the internet. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Easy one.
Did you go to school, Yassine? Did you like get a? Yeah, I think you went to. I think we talked about this before. You went to school, but what did you go to school for? And what did you get? Like, did you have an undergrad, grad degree? What did you do?
I have 2 master degrees. I majored in corporate finance and another one in mastering the management of information systems. So my whole background was actually in business. I never studied computer science or security or anything. Everything. I consider myself to be a self-taught when it comes to security.
Yeah.
Has your finance background ever helped you with like hacking, like threat modeling something from that perspective?
Not really, but
not really. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it did help in life in general, like just understanding your finance.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool though that you've done your school, whatever, right? And then you found a completely different passion that's paying you pretty much. And I hope at least your finances, like on your own, is pretty good. Being, you know, a finance major, your finance, you know how to manage your finances better, at least with the, you know, with the amount of money you can get from bug bounties.
No, I think with security and bug bounties, it pays a lot more than I would have expected, actually. So it was a good change.
Did you wait until you were done with school to like do the digital nomad life and go out like hacking, or did you do them simultaneously?
And I waited until I almost finished my school. So I had a last internship, right? So one last internship before I graduate, and the internship was actually working for HackerOne. So I got
nice.
I was gonna say, I wasn't sure if that was the case.
Yeah. And I went it was a remote position, so I went straight to Thailand. So that's where I kicked off my digital nomad journey. Yeah,
makes sense.
So almost,
Cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
That's cool.
So we usually ask our guests kind of, you know, what about it's really because most people ask us, we ask this question, but like, what about certifications? Like, what do you think about InfoSec certifications as an alternate route to, you know, becoming a hacker? Do you have any? If so, like which ones, or any ones you respect or anything like that?
Okay, so basically, I don't hold any certificate at the moment, but I don't think it's necessary either. But like, I believe that for people who do not have like any educational credentials, like a degree or something, that would probably help a lot to land some like jobs in the future. Like at least you have a certificate that would make you credible, that would like prove that you know the stuff. But I don't believe that it is necessary to actually succeed in information security at all. And if there is any like certificate I would recommend, would probably be the offensive security certificates.
Right.
I actually last year I applied for the EWA, Advanced Web Application Exploitation. So I haven't had time actually to dive into it. So I lost access to the lab. I lost access to the exam. I have to pay all over again. But I think like certificate kind of like it's just like if you want to justify your qualifications as well as if you want to learn probably. I think the AWA, for example, is pretty good if you want to learn about code review. And even OICP is a good certificate, like if you want to start a penetration testing career.
Now that you're full-time pen testing, have you ever had anybody like have a cert as like a prerequisite for you to do pen testing or anything like that?
Not necessarily. Actually, my bug bounty background helped a lot.
Exactly. You're leveraging your real bug bounty stuff instead of a certificate. Not that certificates aren't real. Don't come after me, but you know, I'm just saying you're using your experience.
That's why I'm saying, like, if you don't have a degree, you don't have a bug bounty experience, a certificate would actually be very valuable and helpful. But if you have bug bounty experience, you don't need a certificate. I think you can leverage that as well.
Yeah, I usually tell when I help people do their resumes, right? If they have bug bounty experience, there's like a small section that just has like real life stuff you've done on, like, there's no better indication of competency than having like some bug bounty stuff. And usually it'll format like, I hacked this client, which is like usually like a big company, and then it'll be like this class of bug, authorization bug or injection bugs I found on this. And like usually that's enough for people to be like, okay, this person could probably do whatever. So,
I think it serves the same thing. It serves like the same purpose of saying I have experience versus I've done learning on my own. Yassine, you mentioned you consider yourself self-taught, right? You've learned everything on your own. How much time are you spending on learning and actually hacking? And when you're learning, how do you learn new things? Let's say, you hear about this new vulnerability type, this new technique. How do you learn it?
Okay, so I think it would probably be 50-50 or 50. So basically, I watch a bunch of security talks. I make sure to read security papers as well to learn about the new techniques. I follow that HackerOne activity like religiously. Everything that is posted, I make sure to read it. It's like there are new stuff every day being posted. So I think it's very important for me, like learning the same as hacking. And most of the time when I take a break from hacking, I just solely focus on learning, and I just just try to learn new stuff and just take a break from hacking. That's one of the ways that I actually make sure I don't get burned out. Yeah. So I make sure like to make it 50-50, because like learning is just as important as hacking. If you get stuck like doing the same exact thing or just leveraging the same vulnerabilities that I don't think you're gonna get anywhere. So you have to keep learning. It's like every day there are new research, new blog posts, new vulnerabilities and stuff. So you gotta keep up.
Do you take like notes and stuff? Do you put it in like a Notion or something like that or whatever?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I love taking notes. I found so many bugs just by taking notes. Like I would take notes and come back like a couple of months later, and it's like read them and it's like, oh shit, there is something I missed. Yeah. So I take notes. I used to use Google Docs, but now I switched to Notion. Notion is the best. I love Notion.
It seems like everybody's using Notion. Yeah.
Is there have you faced any challenges while you were learning on your own? Like, is there is a challenge you can think of that you had to overcome on your own?
Not really. I think everything is accessible now. Like there are videos, there are articles. I think it's not really hard to learn stuff. Like there are tutorials showing you everything just step by step, just if you don't want to learn. So I don't think there are many challenges. Yeah.
So do you code any of your own stuff, or do you think like coding is like a requirement for, like doing bug bounty hunting or red teaming or pen testing or anything like that?
First of all, I don't think coding is necessary to be a successful bug bounty hunter. Like for the first couple of years when I was bug hunting, I was not good at coding at all, but I still like found bugs and I was good at it. So coding is definitely not necessary. But if you ask me, I'd recommend learning coding. Actually, I would recommend it, not to find bugs, but it just like expands your mindset as a hacker. Also, there are a class of bugs, stuff that you can automate, just like the exploitation, you can just automate it. You can create your own tools however you want. You can like automate your methodology however you want if you know coding. So I think it's important, but it's not necessary. But if you know it, it's going to give you like a competitive advantage, an edge over others. Yeah.
I think IPSEC said it the best, honestly, last week when he said scripting versus programming. Like learning how to script things to make yourself more efficient, automating things versus like you don't have to write a whole, framework, but just knowing how to automate things and make your life easier is a really good way to put it.
Exactly. I think, scripting is pretty good. Like now I do scripting, I automate stuff, but I also like the past year, I've actually been doing a bunch of web development, and that actually helped me a lot as a hacker as well. Like just understand how the modern web application work. Like I've been using Django framework, for example, and just like helps me understand everything about routing, models, views, and everything. So both are actually valuable if you can learn scripting, so you can automate stuff, and learn a bit of web development, so you can have a good understanding of how modern applications work and interconnect.
What's your go-to language?
Definitely Python. I'd recommend Python for everyone because it's very accessible. Basic syntax and the logic is accessible. So Python is the best actually.
But if
you want,
go ahead.
I just wanted to say, probably if you want more speed, you probably want to go to Golang or Rust. I saw a bunch of bug hunters now switching to Rust, which that makes sense to me, but it's very fast.
Donut, if you're in here, this is your moment to shine in the chat, dude.
Shout out to Donut.
Do you happen to play any CTFs? Do you participate in CTFs?
No, honestly, I don't play CTFs. I played a few in the past. It's just that I personally don't enjoy playing CTFs. I'd rather hack on bug bounties.
Why
but
not?
I don't have anything against CTFs, to be honest. I just personally I don't find any entertainment doing CTFs compared to doing bug bounties. But I still think it's a very good way to learn and to grasp new vulnerabilities and get hold of new techniques and stuff. I still recommend people to do them if they can.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to get some hands-on experience. I think everyone's take on CTF is different, but I think there's value to learning, and I think a lot of hackers use bug bounties as a CTF.
It's pretty good. I've seen like a HackerOne CTFs. They actually had some real world vulnerabilities in those CTFs. Like if you just played them and then go hack on some targets, you might find the same bugs actually. So it can be applied to real world hacking. So that's why.
Yeah, when I was a hacker, one of our biggest things with the CTF, big shout out to Adam Langley. I don't know if he's in the chat. Usually he is. But Adam and I would try to look at the best bugs, the best paying bugs, or the best write-ups we would see, best techniques. And we wanted people to learn them. And that was one of the things, when I asked you, how do you learn? We learned them from making a CTF and making sure the intended solution worked. And then solving it, we'll learn a little bit. I think everybody else got to learn them as well. So there are some CTFs that are really good to do, and some CTFs are just more of a gimmick or more of a game than anything else.
Do you remember the CTF we played back in Paris? I think it was during Le Hack. It was a social engineering CTF.
Yeah.
I was just confused the whole time. You took it seriously, but I was just confused the whole time. I didn't know how.
Dude, we were trying to. Yeah, it was. The thing is, I either don't do CTFs or I like tunnel vision. Like I'm in. Like I want the whole thing. I want to win. That was
so funny.
The only time I've done a CTF, I've gone all the way through. I find the team, I hang out with him. I don't mess around. I just don't do it.
So I've done DEF CON quals a ton of times with Shellfish, and they're
nice.
They're usually at the table at DEF CON, right? And because I was in Santa Barbara in California for a long time, and that's where they're based out of. And I mean, like to do like epic quality CTFs requires a level of organization, even preparation that not a lot of people do, right? Like they're preparing for weeks, like months, to try to make sure their tool sets, first of all, set up, make sure everybody's trained on like the newest vulnerabilities, whether it's exploitation. They have specialists like designated for each category: web, recon, trivia, exploitation, reverse engineering, forensics. Like everybody, like there's usually 2 people assigned per specialty. So if you're like a serious CTF team, it's really hardcore. Yeah, I can't do it. I get to a wall.
CTFs are insane, dude. Those the DEF CON CTFs are insane. Watching Zayed do them for your years, man. Those guys are insane. I don't get how they do it.
I've never been to the table, right? I just do the calls with the team and help them there. But yeah, man, like I'll play a CTF, and what happens to me is I'll get like, I'll get through the first half of the CTF really well. I'll blow through it. Like it's all web bugs. It's great. That's the kind of stuff I do all day. And then I'll get to like something really obscure and I'll get really angry at the CTF. and I'll be like, this would never happen in real life. Why the fuck am I why the fuck am I doing this? And then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go enjoy the con now. And like I'll just leave and people be like, where are you going? And be like, yeah, this is not worth it. Like, I'm out.
Yeah, it's definitely relatable, man. And saying like this will never happen in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about the portion of the show that everyone's waiting for.
Yeah. Okay. So so one of the questions we always ask is, it's live recon, right? And Ben always asks this is do you do recon like on your stuff, and what does recon mean, to you in your type of testing?
All right. So yeah, I do recon actually. And recon for me is just like basically getting to know the target that you're hacking on. So doing reconnaissance and gathering information that will help you throughout the exploitation and the hacking phase. So basically, my recon it depends actually. So if I'm hacking on the main application, I do some sort of recon as well. And if I'm hacking on the subdomains, like if I'm hacking on the application, it's just like getting to know the application, like signing up, just exploring the app, getting to know every functionality and mapping all the functionalities and just triggering actions, using it as a typical user, right? And just understanding the logic. So this is recon for me when I hack on the main application. I also use like Burp Suite crawler, just like crawl everything in the app. But if I'm but sometimes I decide like to hack on the subdomains, like just looking at like skip the application part. Actually, I would hack on the application if it's interesting for me. Like for example, if it's like a huge application, like for my preference would be an application that is huge, has so many functionalities, user roles. Say something like Shopify, for example. That's my kind of web app I would hack on. But if I don't like the app, if I don't find it interesting, I definitely go and like do other recon, like hack on subdomains. So basically what I do is it's not only finding subdomains, but also like doing port scanning, doing DNS enumeration. I do content discovery, brute force directories and files, and looking at like get all the JS files, parse them, look for juicy stuff in there as well. So recon is not like as opposed to a lot of people, they associate it with just subdomains enumeration, which is definitely not. There are like too many odd things in there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think of recon as like mostly automation, where you're just scanning things and like you have this thing that's automating and sending you money. I think today's news is very successful at doing that, but it's not the only way to recon, right? There's other way you can do recon. It's how you gather information on a target.
Exactly.
Yeah. One of the things I was going to ask is you wrote ASNLookup, which actually was, I think, the first tool to automate on the command line the lookup of ASNs, which really allowed a lot of people to build that first step into the recon frameworks that kind of exploded recently, right? And like ASN enumeration is one of my favorite things. And I thought, I don't know why, I had been using it in pen testing for years, but before I started talking about it, like in 2016, no one was really doing it for that stuff. And so what led you to write ASN Recon? Are you like that method as well, or?
Yeah, I've always found it useful. I think a lot of people do not really do port scanning on the IP space that belongs to a company, because like the IP space they host their whole infrastructure on the IP space. So there's a lot of juicy stuff in there. So I really love port scanning the IP addresses. And one of the ways to find the IPs is actually getting the ESN of the company, finding the ESN of the company, and then just like getting the IP space. Actually, I just relaunched the ASN lookup yesterday. Can you go to ASNLookup? Exactly. I relaunched it yesterday.
Very cool. Nice.
Now it looks pretty good, because
looks
before
good.
in the past it was just very basic. The database was
this looks good, dude.
Yeah, dude, it has a proper API now. I haven't announced it yet. I just relaunched it yesterday silently, but I will announce it. So basically, now we use like Django, Postgres, and two databases.
Nice.
It's just like properly built right now. And even the API is pretty cool. I have a free plan, and I also have 2 paid plans, because like I've had companies before, they were abusing the API, and they always took down my server. They were taking down my server every time. So I was like really struggling with them. I was like, shit, I'm just gonna make it paid and have 1 free plan for bug bounty hunters.
Yeah. What about what about IPv6 in ASNs? Are you grabbing that for ASNLookup?
No, I saw IPv6 in there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it supports IPv6 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one that I have found that a lot of bug bounty hunters skip, because either they don't understand it or like it's just kind of foreign. But like there is a lot of juicy stuff on IPv6 these days.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I recommend.
You know, it's funny. Shubs did that blog earlier this week on, or no, he didn't. No, he did the video. He did he's doing like a bug bounty hunter video series, and he talked about his second finding was about like administration panels open to the internet. And this is one thing that I wanted to like kind of ask both of you, is like, it's like that in itself is not a bug to have like an administration panel, like, you know, open to the internet. But I'm just going to be honest. Like I hit a client, I think 8 months ago. And what I did is I port scanned both series of IPv6 and IPv4, and they had a whole bunch of database ports exposed to the internet, right? Which is like not really super great. Like you really shouldn't have your databases exposed to the internet. So I gave them, I think like 18 different addresses of like, I said, hey, and one of them had a default password. So there was a vuln in there too. But I gave them like 18 different references of like, hey, your databases are exposed to the internet. You know, this is like not really great, right? You should have these over a VPN or a jump server or something like that. And I got paid out as a P1 for that. Like in batch, like telling them that like this is probably not good. This is a security hygiene thing that you guys should take care of. And like, have you guys ever done anything like that?
I'll let Yassine go first. I have a really good case.
Not really. I haven't reported any open admin panels or databases in the past. I found like open admin panels, but I don't think it's an issue. Like probably for a database like you mentioned, I think it's probably bad. Yeah, but I haven't done that before. But I'm not surprised that they paid for it. But like for a P1, I'm not entirely sure. Was it really like worth a P1? Is it like, did you get access to?
It depends on what it has access to, right? If it's supposed to be internal, and then like, you know, you and I may not be able to guess the password with admin, but someone may have a really good strong password list. Because you'd be surprised. There's been times on the admin, you know, admin one, all those other ones, and I go, let me try to like, you know, something random that I have in my word list, and it hits.
It's kind of like a science experiment for me, honestly. Like every once in a while I do it with a program, and it's like, does this program like care about security, or do they just care about like bugs that are in the, you know, the VRT of bug crowd or the rankings of HackerOne bugs, right? And so I sometimes I ping them with these random things, right? I'm like, hey, you have all this shit exposed to the internet. Are you sure that you really want to do all this? And sometimes they'll pay for them. It's like, I always tell people scope and those rankings of bugs are negotiable, right? Those are concepts that are actually negotiable.
Exactly. I when I did triage, actually it depends on the company. It depends on the three model. So some companies, they really take it seriously when something is exposed. Like I've seen them, like companies paying for exposed admin panels, just like that. And I mean, it's exposed, they paid for it. But I've also seen companies rejecting it. They close it as an informative.
Most would do that. It's just
exactly.
Yes. Scope is negotiable is going to be my quote for the week.
That's going to be a t-shirt. We're making a t-shirt. Put a picture of you as scope.
Hey, listen,
it's a great area.
I was actually going to do like a little tweet thread on like scope is negotiable, but I'll I mean, like I definitely had things where like things weren't in scope, and I'll submit a test bug and just be like, hey, company, do you care about this thing? I found this thing. Do you want me to submit it or not? And the triager usually forwards it because it's a legitimate question. I'm not presenting bullshit, right? Like I've actually sent in like a description of the bug, and then it's out of scope, but magically it's in scope now. So
before anybody watches this and goes and reports, one and like references like, hey, Jason had it on the house.
These are edge cases,
but just to clear it up, please don't go reporting a reference to these. But just remember that depending on the company, depending on how much exposure they want. Some companies like we don't care for exposed. Some bigger corporations are like, hey, we don't want anything that could be a risk. And the bigger the admin panel, if it's like an admin panel, it's like a backend that gives you access, different story. If it's an admin panel to a WordPress, for example, for the love of God, don't go WordPress.
No one cares about the WordPress admin panel on the internet. Yeah.
One of the features I've actually been requesting was a way to contact the program, like just forward them a question instead of submitting a report. Is there a way we can just reach out to them? I think the platform should do something about that. I mean, there are some programs, they have the email address in the policy, but not all of them do that. But like, so yeah, I think the platform should figure out a way to.
If anybody from HackerOne is watching this in the chat, we're begging you.
Please.
Two former employee and another former employee from another platform are begging you to make this happen.
Most of the time, I think the ones that have ended up either for myself or some other people have been like that, or that one database one was an edge case. That was pretty cool, honestly. And I think that was more volume than anything. I gave them so many of them. They were like, yeah, let's pay this out. I think the other one is credentials on GitHub, right? They're not explicitly in or out of scope for a lot of places, but they usually get triaged as included. And I've had several companies where I've been like, this is not in scope, but I found this type of credential on GitHub. And I didn't give them the address, but I said, this is the type of credential it is. It's not on your repo. It's on a personal repo. Do you want me to submit this? And then every time I think they've said yes. So
again, depends on the company.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, not legal advice.
Yeah, not legal advice. Yeah.
Just sharing experiences here.
Yeah.
Speaking of Recon, let's talk 5 top Recon tools or 5 tools you like to use, whether it's Recon or otherwise. Burp Suite does not count as one.
Okay, I'll tell you like my methodology that I've automated. So what I do when I'm doing Recon, since you asked, is that first of all I do subdomains enumeration. I use EMAS. EMAS is pretty good. I love it, and I use EMAS with passive mode, and I use I combine it with a bunch of APIs because it supports so many APIs. I don't pay for any API, to be honest. All of those I use are free. Also like for example, Security Trails is one of the best APIs. They give you like 50 credits, like 50 API calls a month, and for me that's way enough because like I don't hack more than 50 targets monthly. So I don't need to pay more than $500 for their API. So I use EMAS. I grab the subdomains, and afterwards I do permutation. First of all, I do EMAS, I do passive. So basically you have so many subdomains, most of them are not active, like they're like not even resolving, which is the thing that I want because I do permutation afterwards where I have a word list that I manually created. It has like so many keywords, mostly DevOps stuff and modern software's keywords. So I do permutation. I think actually most bug hunters, they skip permutation. They don't do that step. It's very important. I've seen one of the guys, he wrote an article about permutation where he found like 10% of his extra results were from permutation.
Yeah.
So permutation is a good one. Actually, shout out to Donut. He has a Rust-based tool called Recon. It does permutation. It's freaking fast. Like I did a comparison with Alt DNS by Shops and some other tools. The one by Recon, the one by Donut, it's pretty fast. I love it. I mean, it lacks some functionalities, but like overall, it does the job really quick. Yeah. So basically, I have all these subdomains, and then what I do next is I do DNS resolution. I use pure DNS.
Okay.
I think you posted the link in the private chat.
Yeah.
So I do DNS resolution. I use pure DNS. So I resolve all the subdomains and get rid of the ones that are not resolving. And after that, I pipe everything to HTTPX. So no, it's DNSX. So I do DNS enumeration of all the subdomains. I grab the records and mostly the A records. Okay. So after I grab the A records, I filter everything. I remove the CDN, the IPs pointing to CDNs like Cloudflare, CloudFront, Akamai, and stuff like that, because mostly it spits out fake shit. So I make sure to filter out everything. After that, I pipe all my results to port scanning. I use InMap for port scanning. So I scan the EA records that I got from the DNS enumeration. I use InMap. It's very reliable. It's old school. It's amazing. I've tried mass scan in the past, but it's fast. But I think it's just it has so many false positives, and it skips other ports. And it had problems with my cloud provider. They was always complaining with mass scan, so I switched back to InMap. InMap is pretty good. It has like different modes, like you can be aggressive, you can take it easy.
Yep.
So InMap is reliable. So I do the port scanning, and then I run HTTPX from Project Discovery. Shout out to them.
Yep.
Awesome tools. I run HTTPX. I grab on the HTTP ports. So I grab all the HTTP metadata like titles, status, location, and everything. I grab the technologies as well. By the way, every step I store everything in a Postgres database. Nice. So everything is stored. After I do HTTPX, I pipe everything to Nuclei, the vulnerability scanner. So basically I run all the public templates, and also I run my custom templates on all the data set to find vulnerabilities. So basically this whole workflow, I have it automated. Everything is automated. So basically I just add the scope and everything runs smoothly.
Does it kick off your content discovery too?
No, content discovery, I actually do it separately. So basically when I have everything, when the scan is finished, I have everything like laid out in front of me. So I basically decide which subdomains I want to test. Depends on if there is anything interesting, like interesting DNS records, interesting title, something like that. That's how I decide. And then I do my content discovery. I run FUF, for example, for brute forcing the directories. FUF is the best. It's really fast. And I combine it with a word list called one list for all or something like that. Let me look it up.
Yeah, it's by CO2 Dev
or
whatever.
Yeah. One list for all. Yep. It's pretty good because like he made it from different sources. Like he built the word list from various sources, and I've had really good success with it actually. Yep. And so shout out to him.
I'll grab the link for the chat. Yeah.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's
exactly.
it.
That's the one. It's a pretty good one. So I also use like for my content discovery, I use a Go tool by Corbin. It's one of the best tools as well. It's like gives
you get all URLs.
GAU.
Yeah, get all URLs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. It helps me find endpoints, so I can look for all the indexed links and endpoints. Like you can find XSS, Open Redirects, SSRF, even like private files and stuff like that. I also, by the way, when I'm looking into these subdomains, I also run Burp Suite. I run the Burp Suite crawler, so it does the crawling as well at the same time. And then from Burp Suite, I just grab all the JS files as well, and I parse them. I use Link Finder to find the endpoints on those JS files. I also run Nuclei template that finds API endpoints, hard-coded API endpoints on all those JS files. So yeah, that's like basically a high-level view of my Recon methodology.
Nice.
You mentioned Nmap. What ports do you scan with Nmap?
I scan all ports actually, 65,000 something like that.
65,000.
Nice. Yeah, I don't want to miss any port actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna talk to you a bit. So you do the content discovery manually, and this is something that actually I've been switching to lately. Is like I used to have it like I mean, as of last week, I had it kick off as part of the automation I use in Recon for the Win, right? Which is one of the cool frameworks that 6.2des actually writes that does all this stuff. And but after hearing our last interviewee talk about how you can miss stuff. And then just my personal experience too of like trying to think of when I've had to tune the content discovery tool to do what I want it to do. Like I'm almost thinking now that it's better to do it when you start to decide to hack a single site. Like you do it manually and then you see the errors or you see the response codes you want, or you can tune it, right? Because if it's part of the automation chain, then you might miss some stuff.
And
exactly. That's one of the,
go ahead, Yassine.
that's one of the reasons why I decided not to do it. I do not have it automated. I did in the past have it automated, but I just found out it skips a lot of interest and stuff. So I decided like manually inspecting and investigating is actually the way to go. So I've had more success doing it manually than actually automating it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's just seeing what the site looks like helps you decide what word list to run. I mean, you can do the, your typical quick hits that gives you some information, but like you can't run a .NET, word list on a JSP site. You can, but you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's true. Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned Burp at the end there, and so Burp is part of your active tool chain. And do you use any like plugins or extend Burp, or what are the features of Burp that you use the most?
Yeah, I do actually. I use Burp a lot. I think everyone does. I use Burp Suite Scanner as well. I make sure to run it on the side because like sometimes it helps. It finds like interesting leads that you can investigate and turn into an actual vulnerability. I do combine it with a bunch of other extensions. Some of the extensions that I can think of would probably be, there is one called Authorize for the authorization bugs. This one actually is amazing because I've been doing that stuff like manually. It's just opening two private windows and like switching between a low level user and it was taking up a lot of my time. Then I discovered Authorize. It's like a game changer, man.
It's a game changer,
yeah, definitely. So I use Authorize. I use Collaborator everywhere. Just inserts a bunch of headers in all of your requests. I use what else? I use Active Scan plus. Okay, let me check.
He's just gonna put up his Burp right now. Just look through his plugins list.
I have it open already. Yeah, I use the HTTP request smuggler turbo intruder. I use it as well actively. The param miner is the best. I found so many hidden parameters just using param miner.
Okay.
I use 403 bypasser. Sometimes I find an endpoint that returns 403. There are so many like techniques that you can use in order to bypass that 403, and this extension actually has them stored. So I just ran it on the endpoint. It's pretty good. So I think that's basically it. I use InQL for GraphQL queries. It just makes the request readable, and you can just modify it easily. So GraphQL is not really easy to modify. So I use InQL. Yeah.
Nice.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Very cool.
When you're going to do bug bounty stuff, how do you pick your targets? What's the decision factor of like, I want to hack on this program, I want to hack another program?
I have various criterias. I think first of all, I look at the scope. One of the things I look at the scope. Do they have an interesting scope? I prefer open scope as well. As I mentioned before, if the application is really small, very limited, I go hack on the subdomains. So basically, if they have an interesting application, if they have an open scope, I also look at the bounty table, which is important, of course. How much do they pay for a minimum? How much do they pay for a critical? I look at the health metrics of the program. If the program is healthy or not, I see like how long it takes them to reply and to triage a certain report, how long it takes them to pay a bounty. So as being a self-employed, it's very important to get paid as soon as they can. So this is important for me as well. And I look at how many people hacked in that program. Is it a mature program or not? Is it like just starting? So yeah, I think that's basically it.
You have Do you have a favorite program you hack on? Like, is there one that's a public program that you have a favorite that you can mention?
And mostly I hack on private programs. One of my favorites is a private one. I think you might know it. I'm gonna see you in May. So that's one of my favorite programs. I usually hack on private programs a lot more than public ones. Yeah.
Cool. So my next question is, do you have any like mentors or anybody you really think that like helped you out in the beginning or continues to inspire you to this day, like throughout your kind of hacking journey?
Honestly, like when I started hacking, it would definitely be my cousin. He was a great mentor when I first started hacking. He taught me everything. So he was a great mentor. But nowadays, I don't really have any mentor. But I do like have a bunch of people that I look up to. I follow on Twitter. They inspire me with their content, with their research. Yeah. So like Twitter has so many mentors, like indirectly.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of us are on Twitter. Like the whole bug bounty community seems like it's on Twitter sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And it seems like a small community. We all know each other, kind of.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
There's direct and indirect mentorship. There's a lot of indirect mentorship that happens on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So I know. Spicy part. Let's get to the spicy part.
Wait, hold on. I want to show this real quick. I'm going to show a series of photos really quick. Do you remember this photo? This is the event that you were talking about in Las Vegas.
Oh, that is sick, man. It was Ed. He left his laptop open, so we gathered and just like took a picture of his laptop, posted it to the work. Oh, wow.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, I didn't show this one yet. This is when Yassine came to the live hacking event.
Oh my god!
No, sorry, all hands, the all hands event. The hacker won.
Just dead. He's just dead.
That is embarrassing.
Oh man.
Hold on. I think I have a few more.
I have so many. You should have. Let me know, man. I have so many awkward.
There was one that you posted a picture.
He didn't let you know, so you couldn't get it back.
Oh man, come on. Oh my freaking god.
So this is what I posted: bug bounty hunters, scopes, subdomain takeovers. Because as you mentioned, Jason, scope is negotiable sometimes.
Sometimes it is. Yeah.
And then NahamSec skills, Yassine. I had another one. We were somewhere. I think we were in Singapore or something. I posted a picture of a trash can, and you posted a picture of the toilet.
Dude, do you remember I had a website put up called NahamSecStatus.com where they had a screenshot of the leaderboard? It was saying NahamSec was not feeling very well, and you can see the screenshot of the leaderboard. I'm on top. And also I had a profile picture on the leaderboard that says, "This guy is a skid." Like if you were below me on the leaderboard, this guy is a skid.
Oh man.
There was a talk I did, and like the intro to the talk. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. There was a talk I did. It was called like "It's the Little Things." In the beginning, I talked about.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it would talk about competition. It talks about me and him going back and forth. It shows me at 10th and then him at 11th. The next day, I wake up, it's 11th, 10th. Like it switches. He's 10th, I'm 11th, and we keep going back and forth. Yeah. And that kept us very.
Dude, I had a lot of people. They found it to be funny. I had a lot of people come up to me in the conferences, was like, what you're doing with Ben is really fun. We love it, man. People were enjoying it actually back then. It was amazing. It was a healthy competition. It was a friendly one. We were pushing each other, kind of. So yeah.
For a while, it was very fun. I think we did it for a few months, and then we met in Loha, because when we met and we had a drink together as a truce. When I went to France and met with you.
We trolled on Instagram, on Twitter, everywhere. That's crazy.
So this is the part that I'm most excited about to interview you. We have some questions on this, but I think you have been doing this for a lot longer than I have on this whole like self-growth and like becoming the best person, the best version of yourself. You watch a lot of similar videos. Like I know you watch Matt Develler a lot. I know that as a fact. I've seen some of the stuff you do. And I've seen that. I've seen that video. I've seen that content.
Thanks, man.
Let's jump into that. I'm excited to hear, man. Do you have a daily routine? Morning routine, night routine, like things that you do every day.
Yeah, I think I do have a daily routine. For example, when I wake up, I try not to get online straight. Like I take an hour before actually getting online. I do actually, I try to regularly exercise. Has been one of
You're ripped, by
my,
the way. I've seen the new photos. You're ripped now.
yeah, man. I've been taking it seriously the past years. I really love weightlifting, and
Yeah.
like I've kind of like become kind of an athlete. I've been enjoying sports a lot, and actually, honestly, it's been a game changer.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of changes in my mental health and
Yeah.
physical health as well. Just when I started like doing weightlifting, and I've been doing a lot of running, half marathons. So
Yeah.
that's been helping me a lot with my anxiety. I've also been on, like, for the past years, I've always been on a balanced diet. I've been eating healthy as well.
Yeah.
I also, one of the things that changed my life actually was actually getting a decent night sleep, man. Because in the past, I was staying up late a lot, man. I would just be hacking all night and then sleep through the day, which was really bad. It impacted my mental health because I've been feeling depressed all the time. Because like you've been hacking all night and you sleep through the day, you wake up and you find it gets dark again. It's like you're living in a dark kind of environment. So one of the things that I changed was actually get a decent night's sleep, at least
Yeah.
7 hours of sleep. That helped me a lot. It was a huge positive impact on my life. Like the next day, just wake up early and just like you feel really good. You feel amazing.
Yep.
Sleep is a huge sleep. Getting 8 hours of sleep, man, that's a game changer. I agree.
Yeah, and a good diet, man, healthy diet,
Yeah.
man. I think it just you can like learn to make a habit out of it. Like once you stick to that habit, it just changes your life.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
agree. Is that do you have like daily things outside of like working out? Do you use a planner to organize your day? Do you journal?
Yeah.
Do you you know,
Yeah.
do you have any other
Actually, yes, I do. I do journal as well. That's one of
Yeah.
the things I implemented in the past 2 years. Like every time like there is something overwhelming, like there is something, I just write it down. Every
It
time
gets
I
it out of your
write it
system,
down,
right? It gets it out of your
yeah,
system when you write it down.
and takes it off of your chest, man. It just helps a lot. I don't know why, but it just like journaling and writing down what
Yeah.
happened, how you feel, checking in with yours. It's like checking in with yourself by
Yeah.
writing it down. So journaling helped a lot. I do some occasional meditation as well. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I use Headspace application that
Headspace. Yeah.
help.
Headspace.
Yeah, it's amazing. I do some breathing exercises. Helps me when I get anxiety. I just like practice to breathe, and it relieves my anxiety as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some of the things that I actually do.
Have either of you guys checked out healthygamer.gg yet?
What is it
No.
called?
Healthygamer.gg.
Oh no, I don't know
I'll
it.
start up on
Okay.
this. There we
So
go.
so my one of my bosses at my current job actually bought a subscription for me, and it's all about Dr. K is this guy who basically, is a board certified physician, but all of his research is about meditation, but also like healthy lifestyle for people who are in our generation or even younger, who grew up
Mm,
on video games. And so this guy has actually coached esports teams like Evil Geniuses and like big esports teams on
mm.
like and it very much translates to hacking. But we found out about it because I work at a gaming company right now, right? And so you guys should check out some of his talks. He has a YouTube channel and a stream. He talks a ton about mental health, a lot about what you guys are already talking about, journaling and like addressing the things like in your day that cause stress. No social media in the morning, like an hour after you get up or anything like that. That's pretty cool. So,
Dude,
Oh, nice.
I've said this a million times. I charge my phone downstairs. It is the best thing I've ever done for my mental health. I get
so
up,
you can't get to it.
I don't get to it.
Nice.
I don't touch it.
Very good.
I don't wake up to my alarm going off on my phone and seeing these, these notifications on.
Yeah.
Twitter, like I don't,
Nice.
because when you open up your phone, it pops up open. You see what the notification is, right?
Yeah.
You can turn them off. There's also emails. I don't have Twitter itself on my phone. It's the emails that you get from notifications.
Very
I'm
nice.
charging my phone downstairs in the other room. I wake up and I come into my office. I have this little corner. It's my morning routine corner. I do my thing, and then I get ready. When I'm ready to get to work mode, I go downstairs and grab my phone. Nice. And I try to, when I go get coffee or I go get water in the mornings, I'm like, don't touch the phone. Don't you fucking dare touch that. Get back up there. Go to your office.
That's awesome. That's
honestly, I recommend a 10-10. I use an iPad now for most of my other stuff. Like I have, alarm in the morning. I need something, play music in the morning when I wake up. I have a playlist I listen to that helps a little bit in the mornings. I have everything turned off on the iPad. You can't get to me, dude. There's no way you can ruin my day when I wake up.
I'm writing this tip down. I'm gonna start charging my phone in the living room now. That was great.
And as always, remember this is mental health segment brought to you by 3 dudes who are not mental health professionals.
We're not mental health professionals. Yeah,
we are sharing our experience, but honestly, man, like I think you guys have heard me say this a bunch of times. I woke up to a bunch of random stuff on my phone one day that made me decide to put my phone aside, because you wake up, you have that wrong email that pops up, that wrong Instagram.
It ruins your whole day. It'll ruin your whole day. Yeah.
You shouldn't let it ruin your day, but it does. You can't control that.
Yep. And then you add on 3 years of a pandemic too, like on top of everything else, and like a war in the world and whatever you got going on in your own life, it can get pretty overwhelming. So
it is, man. It is. And also, like one of the things is like you social interaction, man. So I think a lot of bug hunters, for example, just spend too many hours in front of the screen. They don't interact that much with people, which can really impact their mental health. Just like go get a life, go catch up with your friends, have fun, talk to your family, spend some time off the screen. Not just like stick to the screen the whole day.
To be fair, also, Yassine, a lot of people that have these social anxieties that can't make friends in person, they're more comfortable to do these things online. Go join a Discord that's friendly. Make some friends online. Watch movies with them. I know a lot of podcasts that are doing that recently. Make friends, man. Like I get the off-screen thing. You should absolutely spend time off the screen, but just spend time with people, man. Network.
Exactly. Just social interaction in general.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's very important. Yeah.
So how much time do you like fit in for hacking a day? Like, is it like a majority of your day, or like inside of your schedule?
Basically, I don't have a fixed schedule, but probably I probably spend like 4 hours a day hacking. I'd say it's probably I'm probably averaging like 20 hours of doing bug bounties a week.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
And what about your pen testing stuff too? Like that counts, right?
No, it doesn't count actually.
Oh, it doesn't count. Okay.
That's just like bug hunting would be 20 hours. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. How do you like the split between doing some bug bounty and some pen tests? Do you like, like not having to solely focus on the bug bounty hunting?
I actually love it, man. Because like in the past, I haven't done any pen testing, so I was just like solely focused on full-time bug hunting, which is honestly, it's very hard, man. Like if you're doing it full-time, it can be very hard. It's like you're forcing yourself to find bugs to pay for your own bills. So basically, bug hunting becomes more of a chore than an actual thing that you're enjoying. And so that's what happened to me. Like when I was doing it full time, at one point I did not enjoy it anymore, because I just like force myself to find as many bugs as I can so I can pay my own bills. So basically now having like pen testing on the side, like working with clients, at least you have an income that is guaranteed. So at least if you don't find bugs, you're not solely relying on the bug bounty income. You have an income that is guaranteed. So basically, you're enjoying bug hunting again. You're doing it, taking it easy on yourself. So I
had this conversation, but I actually hadn't heard anyone say that before. Like that it allows you to enjoy your bug hunting more when you don't have to think about it like that.
Yeah.
Exactly, because like when you're just doing it for money, the quality of your bug hunting really goes low, because like you're just submitting low bugs just to get paid, just to get those bounties. But when you have an actual job, for example, a full-time job, you have your own salary, then you can focus on one thing. You're just going to focus on one bug, just like become more creative, like allocate more time for one thing instead of just like it's just like the quality of your work increases when you have a full-time job, when you have a side income, than when you're actually doing it full-time, and you just want to submit as many bugs as you can, regardless of how low is it. So,
do you force yourself to get away from the screen at like a certain time a day, or spend a certain amount of time away from the screen a day?
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I have these habits. Like, for example, working out. I work out almost every day, like at least 5 days a week. So like working out, just one of them. My break away from the screen is just like take 1.5 hours just working out, lifting weights and stuff like that. I also make sure to hang out with my friends in the evening. So that is one of the quality time that I really enjoy. It's like sometimes I just be feeling down the whole day and just catch up with my friends, have some laughter.
Feel better.
Feeling all good again. Yeah.
Do you have
force myself.
Do you have these cycles when like you work for a certain amount of weeks or months or whatever, and then you just take a few weeks off?
Yes, I do actually. Yeah, it's like at one point I've been burned out so many times, man. So I've been burned out so many times that I can't imagine. So yeah, I do like go hard on myself sometimes, like for a couple of months, and just take a couple of months break. What helps me, like mostly for me personally, because I've been traveling, is the traveling part. So basically, I'm in a different country. I don't have to work all the time. I can just go enjoy and chill, meet new people, explore the place, and such. So it's been helping me a lot with the burnout periods, actually. Cool. Yeah, but that's very natural. It happens. Yeah.
So, okay, so you mentioned hanging out with friends, traveling. Any other methods that you deal with kind of the burnout with, like anything else?
Yeah.
Healthy diet, working out.
I do a lot of hiking. I do trekking. I go camping in the mountains for a couple of days. That's I come back with a fresh mind every day, every time I do it. I also do a lot of running. I do some skateboarding as well. I've been learning to surf skate. Like it's just a combination of skateboarding and surfing. So yeah, I do a lot of activities. That's why I always recommend to people to have activities that you can do in your spare time apart from just working. Like have some hobbies. It helps a lot, significantly.
So I know I'm a little bit older than you guys, but I've been finding a lot of people have been like going back to things that they really had fun to in their 20s, right? Like when you had all this extra time, right? Like in your early 20s, it's like, what did you do then? And for me, it was like paintballing. I love paintballing. And so I've just gotten back into it, like, and it's a physical thing and I can invite some friends, and it's like starting to get back to that to make sure my mental health is good, right? Because you're right, you can't spend all your time in front of a screen, right? Whether it's for work or, even if your hobby is gaming, right? Which is like, I work in gaming. It's like, you gotta check out from the screen every once in a while.
No, exactly. It's very important. Like really get some hobbies that you enjoy doing, so that when you're tired from working or just when you're burned out, you can just go and do those fun activities.
Yeah.
You seem pretty self-aware, Yassine. Do you know like when you're getting to that burnout phase of working and life? Like do you know your signs of being burnt out and like tired of working and needing a break?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know myself. So I just feel tired. I hate working. I don't want to do anything. It's like kind of a depression symptoms. So that's when I know, dude, I'm burned out. It's when like I enjoy time off the screen more than when I actually work. So it's a clear sign that I need to take a break. Yeah, I think it's obvious. Definitely obvious.
Yeah, I think you have these it's some of depression signs, and also like you enjoy things less and less. The last thing, we always keep this best question for last. Do you deal with imposter syndrome? Do you, first of all, for people that don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's when you don't feel like you belong somewhere, you don't know anything, you're an imposter. I think I've talked about this enough times. I want to hear Yassine, do you deal with it at this stage?
Absolutely. I think, I think almost everyone probably deals with it, including me, man. It's very, I think at this point, honestly, I'm kind of fighting it, but also like I'm embracing it, because like I know, I consider it to be a natural thing. Because like imposter syndrome is just like you want to be better, right? Yeah. You feel like you don't know that much compared to others, right? So I take it kind of as like a motivation for me to go start learning again, learn more, and just like just like wanting to become better, but also it can be overwhelming, right? It's like sometimes it's just not justified, right? Like you just feel the imposter syndrome for no reason. I mean, you're in a good spot, but still you still feeling that imposter syndrome. So what I try to do, I just try to be more grateful, right? I practice some gratefulness, just like I imagine things that are really good in my life right now compared to like in the past. So I'm feeling grateful, just like practicing gratefulness. I appreciate the things that I have now, the things that I know now, and that I have the help to keep learning, to go like to pay for my trainings and everything. So yeah, just practicing gratefulness. Also, just like do not compare with others. Always compare with yourself, like yourself yesterday and yourself today. Like, are you getting better every day? So basically compete with yourself. Do not look at what others' successes, because you don't know their situation and their circumstance and everything. So your life is completely different from others. Yeah, so I think it's a very natural thing in InfoSec, like because like InfoSec also is a huge industry. Like there are so many fields in the InfoSec, like forensics, reversing, binary, web apps. You cannot expect yourself to know everything, right? So don't go hard on yourself. That's what I tell myself every time I InfoSec.
It's so funny. I had to DM Shubs this week. Shubs did a really great blog on mental health a year ago. And I had to DM him this week because I felt like he was the only one who would understand. But like I got hit by imposter syndrome hard this week, and I was just like, "Fuck, am I doing enough? Like, am I good enough? Or like my bugs good enough?" Like I wasn't finding anything in like the middle of the week, and I was like, I'd spent a lot of time, and yeah, man, it's rough. Like it's rough to not compare yourselves to other, especially with the like hacking
media.
Yeah, the social media, right, is the one that does me in. It's like. It's
crazy,
like, oh, look at all the shit Ben's doing. Look at all the shit Yassine's doing. It's like, am I doing enough? Like, I don't know. Probably not. Like, yeah. So I totally get it. It's something hard to get over. Yeah.
The comparing one is the big one. Yes, you nail on the head. Compare yourself to yourself from like 6 months ago, a year ago, and that comes with gratitude too, because you start realizing your progress. That was a really tough one for me to learn the past year or so. To realize, like, it doesn't matter. We all have, we all have different lives. You have a different life that I live, and then same thing with Jason. You have a different life, man. You have different things that's going on with you outside of work and bug bounty. So we all don't live a parallel, like, same lives as each other. So it's a really good way to put it. The gratitude thing is, I think more and more people need to practice their gratitude thing. One of my personal thing is I start writing something I'm grateful for every morning. It could be as simple as coffee. Sometimes I wake up like this window I have right here. I open it, like the sun's like hitting me right in the face. I'm like, I'm grateful for the sun today because it feels good on my face. Like I'm alive. I woke up. There's things like I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for this live stream, whatever it is. It makes you realize you have more going on than you think.
That's actually one thing my therapist told me is before you get out of bed, like even before you start your day, especially don't look at your phone. And also in your head, or write it down. I didn't do the write it down, but I do it in my head every morning. Is think of 3 things that you're grateful for. Like what is amazing. Like, and I usually mine starts with my family and my friends, right? Like I have family and friends. It's like if I didn't have them, holy shit, where would I be? Like, so
yeah. I also do it when I go to sleep. I think of like 3 to 4 things that I'm grateful for that I did that day. So it helps me sleep very well as well, like get rid of the anxiety. Yeah,
that's great.
So I recommend people to do that. Just be more grateful. Think of things that you appreciate.
Love it, man. I've been excited to ask you these questions because I see the stuff you do, and I've been doing similar things. And like you're one of the people that I've seen do very close to what I have done with my morning routine, that the health thing, and like doing the things like investing in yourself is a big one. A lot of people don't realize that, man.
I got one for you guys, just because I know we're running long, but I gotta hear both of your takes on this. So
go for it.
So, and again, not medical advice. We're not doctors, but are you guys doing any like supplement, like like brain hacking or anything like that? What's your regimen? What do you find works for you guys at all, like vitamins or anything like that?
Yassine, you go ahead. Mine's a little.
Okay. So personally, I take a multivitamin every day. I take omega-3 as well. I take magnesium. I supplement with magnesium for sure. And for my training, I do, of course, I do whey protein. I do creatine as well. Yeah,
nice.
so that's about it.
Okay.
One of the things that's helped me a lot, and again, this is not an advertisement. It's not a sponsored segment. I take Lion Mane is what it's called.
I
They're
took
FDA
it.
approved mushroom pills. It's done wonders, man. I just started doing Onnit. It's called Onnit Total Human. It has like Alpha Brain, some other stuff in it. It has magnesium, it has omega-3, a bunch. I've just started because I used to have these. I used to buy them separately. I had multivitamins. I had Lion Mane. I had all these different things that I took, omega-3, you name it, magnesium. All of it was like, and I keep losing track of like, oh, I'm running out of this one because I take 2 a day, 1 a day of this. And I bought this thing recently. Again, not an ad, not something that's sponsored. I'm not trying to sell you any products. I just started using this. If you're interested in doing it, I have a daily and night. It's a little bit pricey, but it gives you, there's a lot of stuff in there that it gives you for 30 days. You know, you can see right here, Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech, Sport. I don't do Lions, but I think it's just, I take this for now. And it's been helpful. And it's helped a lot with anxiety and that kind of stuff too.
I took Lion's Mane before. Do you like feel any mental clarity like after you took it?
Absolutely, man. When I started doing it a year ago, and it makes you, it gives you this weird, I don't know how to explain, it gives you a weird different mentality in your head, and you remember things better, and I don't know how to explain it. That's something to your nervous system.
No, that's true. That's what's expected. It helps with memory most of all. Yeah. I took it before.
I have a ton of people in my relative network who are San Francisco based, and they're really into brain hacking, testing out stuff. It's not really my world, but I always think it's interesting to hear what other people are doing, what works for them, right?
I call it Bay Area sober is the term.
That's funny, yeah.
I've experimented with Bay Area soberness, but honestly, the Lion's Mane thing is a big one, and there's like Genius mushrooms, that's what it's called, and they have like 3 different things you can get. It helps you with focus. I've tried a lot of them. Honestly, it all comes down to vitamins. If you're eating enough vegetables, like honestly, the diet thing that Yassine said with the vegetables, eating healthy, that was the first thing. And then I started working out. Then I was like, okay, I've hit this point in my life that I want to do better. What are supplements that I can take? And I did research, and this one was really pricey, but I'm on like week 1, I want to say, or maybe like almost week 2. And I see a little bit of a difference in my day-to-day mental health and like my health in general, because I'm taking all these different things.
Cool.
Amazing. Good to hear, man.
We have a few minutes. I want to make sure if there, I try to be, as I think you and I both, Jason, we're very quick with the questions from the audience. If there's anything that the chat wants to throw in, this is your time. There was one that I wanted to ask you specifically. Do you recommend Burp Suite Pro, or do you think getting bounties does not depend on this?
It definitely does not depend on it, but generally, I do recommend Burp Suite Pro because it has so many good features that you can leverage in your bug bounty if you want to step it up. I do recommend it. But like if you're just starting out, you can start with Burp Suite Community. It's enough. Or you can just go to Wasp Zap. Wasp Zap I heard it's a pretty good one as well. I've tried it in the past. It looked good, but like not as good as Burp Suite for sure. But it does the trick. So it's not necessary, but if you can afford it, just go for it.
I think Burp Suite, I use most of Burp Suite, just like Ipsec said last week, for repeater and proxy. You can use Intruder a little bit in there if you want it, even with community. It's slower, but you can still use it. So you don't need it. I would say get a few bounty and invest that money back into yourself by buying Burp Suite Pro.
Exactly. But just please don't crack it. Don't use the cracked version.
Don't use,
yeah.
It's funny. I had this question from someone on one of the podcasts on recently, and it's like, I think the gist of his question was that I feel like a script kiddie using Burp Scanner, right? And the thing I told him was that, if you're on a big site, sometimes it's impossible to test for everything manually. So you need an automated scanner like Burp Suite or Zap, right? Like, let's say you're on an enterprise thing like Shopify. Like, if you look at Shopify, I think the last time I looked at them, they're running like something like 400 parameters or routes across the application, right? And so that's a lot of surface area to check, right? So don't spam them with the whole scanner. Reduce down to a couple checks that you want to make sure you check in mass. So usually I reduce it down to cross-site scripting and SQL injection, right? And then follow up on it too. Don't just trust the scanner. What gave errors inside of that scanner log? You know, like if you have the log in the other window, you can see which responses gave back errors, and then dig into those ones yourselves, right? And like, and so it's like, he was like, okay, I feel like that's less of a script kiddie thing to do. And I'm like, yeah, you know, there is a line where like, don't just count on it to find stuff for you, but they're powerful tools, and they exist for a reason, right? Like pen testers use them all the time to augment coverage, right? Like you need to prove coverage of a website. You got to use some automation, even for bugs like that sometimes. So
I think reliance and like leveraging are two different things. Most people rely,
exactly,
a lot of bug hunters leverage these things.
Yeah.
All right, one last question. What's your favorite bug type?
I would definitely be like server side SSRF and privilege escalation, two of my top favorite bugs for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna have to start doing an outro, but I want to say thank you again, man, for being here on a Sunday. Thank you for everything.
That was awesome, man. That was great.
Thank you for letting me bully you a little bit and have some fun.
You guys are crazy.
Okay.
You did. Listen, hold on. You did beat me. You did beat me at the end. In the long run, you did beat me. I will say this on the record. I want you to know, even though we had our competition, I really enjoyed doing it. I think that was really, really fun. Thank you again, man. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you. I have a feeling I'm going to see you in a few weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a feeling I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, same. I have this feeling. All right, thank you very much for having me, guys. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That was great.
Catch you guys later.
Later, man.
Bye-bye.
Jason, thank you again, man. Thank you for, I realize also it's Easter weekend and we're doing a stream on Easter weekend. Thank you so much for being here on Sunday, man. I really, really appreciate you as always, and can't wait for the next episode when we'll bring you on, dude.
Yep, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, man. See ya.
All right. Later, everyone.
See you, dude. All right. And I have to do a quick thank you for all these gifted subs. First of all, Brevity in Motion, I think is the username. I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for the 25 gifted. I really, really appreciate it. Flocky Sec, thank you for the resub. And I think you just did a gifted earlier. Go Robot, thank you for the sub, for resubbing. Dark Eldar, thank you so much. Junebug, KH405 TV, Record. Sup, guys? Thank you so much. 25 months. I appreciate it so much, man. 25 months of being a subscriber. Same thing with Dark Eldar for 17 months. And last but not least, Fception. Thank you so much. Fexception. Thank you so much for subscribing for 6 months. I really, really appreciate it. I see a lot of people saying, can we raid? We haven't done a raid in a while. I may be down to raid. I'm not sure. But hang around. I'm going to do the outro. If you stick around, then we'll raid. But outside of that, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the gifted subs. Thank you for all the subs, resubbing, everything and everything. I really appreciate it. We'll be back online with another interview next week. And I'll announce who that is in a bit. If you want to win some goodies, go on Twitter, twitter.com/NahamSec. I'm doing a giveaway right now already. So you can go ahead and enter. Here's my Twitter handle, things all right here. Go follow me. They will be all on there. And that's it. Interviews are going to come out next week. If you want to watch IPSEX, you missed it. It will come out next week. If you're a subscriber, you can watch it right now on this channel. But outside of that, thank you. I love you all. I appreciate you for being here. Have a good Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, wherever you're out. And I will see you all next week. Peace.